All right, guys, let's get into it. Top plays for April 7th, Thursday. Quick recap. Wednesday, April 6th, we hit with the Hawks. Hawks minus 10.5 at home versus the Wizards. I'm 20-8 in my last 28 plays, so that's over 70%. I believe I've been over 70% throughout this season, but definitely since I started keeping track these past 28 plays for you guys since I started putting my picks up on the channel and stuff like that, since I started tweeting them and putting them on my social medias. So 20-8 in the last 28 plays. This game right here with the Celtics and the Bucks, very interesting game. I wanted to get on the Celtics on Wednesday versus the Bulls, but that injury report was just a mess. They were saying that Tatum and Brown and Horford, they were listed as probable, and then they were listed as game time decision again, and then they were saying that they were stretching out on the court to see how they felt, if they felt any soreness. And I believe that they were going to rest them so that way they could get up for this game. So luckily, we most likely will see these guys play in this game. This is a game that I wouldn't rush to place, though, because, just with these two teams, you don't know. Giannis is a game time decision right now. You just don't know what's going to happen. I would just wait out on this game and see. Right now, we're getting Boston +6. I'm seeing 6.5s on some books. So Boston +6, 6.5, that is the play. If it goes down because Giannis is out, that's fine because I think the Celtics are going to win the game straight up. And if they don't win the game straight up, they'll lose in a tight one. I think this is a lot of points. The line is shading towards the Bucks. The strength is with the Bucks, but I just think it's too many points, and I think it's something you don't really overthink. When you're getting this many points with a Boston team, you just take them. They're good on the road. I know it says they're 22-17 on the road, but a lot of those road losses were probably early in the season when they were still figuring it out. Like this Celtics team, they're gelling, they're clicking on all cylinders. Yes, you would like to have Robert Williams, but they're figuring out ways to win games without him. You just have to take this Celtics team when you're getting this many points, even if Giannis is ruled out. I'll take the Celtics in a pick'em. I'll take the Celtics in a pick'em if Giannis is out. If Giannis is in and everybody's in for the Celtics, I'll take the Celtics with the points, whatever points it is. If it's +4, if it's +6, +5, whatever, I'll take the Celtics and the points. I think that this is going to go down to the wire. It's going to be a classic TNT game. Both teams are fighting for seeding right now. They're jockeying for position. So everybody should play. This is a game that everybody should play. Adam Silver just came out and said he has an issue with the star players resting, and he's going to try to find a way to incentivize players to play more games and punish them if they don't play. So the Celtics, this is a good spot for them. They're getting a lot of points. It's just like when they played the Warriors, and I took the Celtics because it's just when you're getting a team that's this good on the road with points, it's kind of a no-brainer. This is one of those games you just take Boston and you lay back and you just live with the results. Maybe I'm walking into something. Maybe this is just like a trap and I'm falling for it, but I just have to take it. When you're getting this Boston team, they're well coached, they're clicking, they're playing great defense, and they have shot makers. If the other team goes on a run, they have shot makers to cool it down. Like, you just have to do it. Boston +6, official play, Boston +6, but just wait for the injury report. Wait till tomorrow. If it's Boston +4, I'd still take it. Next game, we got the Raptors. Raptors at home hosting the Sixers. Raptors favorites. Line opened at -3. It's down to -1.5, -1 on some books. I'm saying the score has it at -2, but you can get it at -1, -1.5. And I like Toronto in this spot. People are just, blindlessly betting the Sixers because the Sixers are dogs, but they're dogs for a reason. No Maurice Thybulle in this game. Maurice Thybulle will not be making the trip. Maybe he's unvaccinated. Who knows? But he's not going to be playing in this game, which means Danny Green or Niang is going to start, which makes that Sixers bench that is thin, it's going to make them even thinner. And the Sixers, they don't play their starters heavy minutes. They play that bench, and that bench is weak. We know Nick Nurse, on the other hand, though, Nick Nurse is going to play his starters as much as he needs to make sure they win. If they got to play 40 minutes tonight, he's going to play them. If they need to play 40 minutes, if Van Fleet, if Scotty Barnes, if Siakam needs to play heavy minutes, they're going to do what they have to do. And we love that in this situation because the Raptors, they're playing for seeding. They're a very competitive team. They have a lot of wing defenders to throw at Harden. Harden struggled the last time that they played. They matched up about like 2 weeks ago, I believe, and the Raptors were able to win that game on the road. So the Raptors are a good home team. They're desperate. They need the win. Um, they have defenders to match up with James Harden. Joel Embiid is going to eat, but the Raptors, they're a very good offensive rebounding team. They're the second best offensive rebounding team in the league. And the Sixers, they give up offensive rebounds. And for what it's worth, the Raptors out-rebounded the Sixers in the last meeting on the offensive glass. They were killing them on the offensive glass. So I think the Raptors, they're going to get offensive rebounds. They're going to get second chance points. They're going to put up a lot of threes, and they're going to play great defense on Harden. So it's a very competitive game. The Raptors are at home. It's a short line. Let's take the Raptors to win. Raptors are going to win this game. It's a short line, -1, -1.5. I'll go official with Raptors -1.5 because I'm seeing a lot of 1.5s on the board. Only a couple -1s. No -2 except for here on the score. So I'll go official. Raptors -1. Raptors -1.5. Lock that in. All right, and for the third official play of the day, we got the San Antonio Spurs at the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, right now, it's San Antonio plus 8.5. I'm seeing 8.5 on most books. Some books are +9. That injury report still has to be finalized. We know Murray's going to be out. Vassal's most likely going to be out. We just got to see what's up with that injury report for the Timberwolves. Malik Beasley is probably going to play. Patrick Beverley hasn't been playing lately. He's a game time decision. And I like the Spurs in this spot. The Spurs should be on an 8-game win streak. Keldon Johnson missed that layup against the Grizzlies, but if he makes that, they're on an 8-game win streak. They've won games. They beat the Utah Jazz in Utah, I believe, or maybe it was in San Antonio, but they beat Utah not too long ago. They beat the Warriors at Golden State. So the Spurs, they've been winning games. They've been beating the teams they're supposed to beat, and they've been beating teams that are better than them. They beat the Nuggets the day before yesterday. So the Spurs have been very competitive. They're fighting for this play-in spot. They want better positioning, possibly to get that 9th seed so they can play at home for one of the games in the play-in. So they're going to be giving it their all. They play better without DeJounte Murray. They move the ball around more. They get all their guys involved. They're on a streak. They're on a hot streak with this core that they have out there right now. And they want revenge on the Timberwolves. This is a double revenge spot. They lost the 2 meetings versus the Timberwolves earlier in the season. Karl Anthony Towns, of course, has 63 on their heads. He couldn't miss. He was making everything on them, so they're going to remember that. It's just like if you guys remember when Kyrie played against the Hornets. Kyrie had a 50 ball in a game where I took the Nets. Kyrie had a 50 ball on the best shooting percentage, true efficiency in NBA history for a 50-point game. And then they played the Hornets in Kyrie's first game back in Brooklyn. It was a big spread, and the Hornets won the game outright in Brooklyn. And Kyrie had a lackluster performance. So that's what happens. You go off, and teams remember that. You go off on a team, and they remember how you played versus them, and they make sure to lock you up the next game. These are professionals. They're going to have pride. So I wouldn't be surprised if Karl Anthony Towns had like a subpar game or if he struggled a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if the Spurs had something up their sleeves in terms of guarding him. You're not really going to lock down, stop a Karl Anthony Towns, but, if they had a little schemes up their sleeve, something to just hold him a little bit more. And the Spurs have been making shots lately. They've been playing very competitive. They need this game. Plus 8.5, plus 9, it's just too many points. It's a lot of points for a Timberwolves team that you don't know what you're going to get night to night. If the Spurs are able to defend the 3 well, then, hey, they could win this game outright, but it's just tough because the Timberwolves, they're a wild card team. They could come out here and they could ball out, but even if they ball out, plus 8.5, I feel safe with plus 8.5. We know it's going up. We see plus 9s on the board, but plus 8.5, San Antonio, I'm locking that in. If Patrick Beverley doesn't play, I'm feeling like that's a lock. But if Patrick Beverley does play, it's going to be a little more competitive. It's going to be a little more tighter, but I still like Spurs in this spot. The Spurs are rolling. When you get a team that's rolling this much and you're getting points, you got to go for it. So give me San Antonio plus 8.5 official plays. Once again, San Antonio plus 8.5. Celtics, let's wait and see for that injury report, but I'm going to go ahead. As long as it's Celtics plus 4, I'm locking that in. And Toronto minus 1.5. I'll go official with the minus 1.5. So lock those in. I'd go ahead and I'd lock in Toronto right now, because we don't know what's going to happen with that line. It did open up at -3, so I'd lock in Toronto right now. And Minnesota and the Celtics, you could wait for the injury report. You don't necessarily have to rush. But those are my 3 plays. Let's cash. Once again, make sure to follow me on the social medias at Petros channel, because sometimes I put those picks up on there. I don't always get a chance to make the videos, but I decided to make a video the night before for you guys. I found a little time, so I wanted to get it out there for you guys. But let's cash. We're going to keep cashing. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.